chickens or turkeys. The gallinaceous bird will lay an egg, lay another, lay another, lay another. When they're finally all laid, then they start incubating. Raptors don't do it that way. When they lay one egg, they immediately start incubating then. With falcons, 3 days later they lay another egg. 3 days later another. So, when it's time to hatch, the first egg hatches. The chick is already 3 days old before the second one hatches. And we already established females are bigger than males. So if the first few chicks that hatch are female, they're bigger because they're earlier, and they're bigger because they're female. Kip was the last one to hatch. They were towering over him. He was tiny. Through the years, I've come across that. And we've always said, all right, we'll leave it in there, we'll come back and band it. Every time I come back, the little one is gone. 60 to 90% of all birds of prey die their first year. The siblings will kill it and eat it. So, through all those years of watching that happen, I found this, we're not going to let that happen this time. So, we put him under my falconry permit. He's been with me now, this is day 6. He already thinks of me as Papa. He's already imprinted. And I heard some people ask earlier, can we let him go? When they imprint, you can't, because he doesn't know if he's a funny-looking person or if we're all funny-looking kestrels. My option was to leave him there and let him die, or take him and imprint him and give him a life, give him the best life I can give him, but it's going to be tied with me. And we opted that route. So if you come up and take a look at Kip is 13 days old at this point, give or take a day. And he's been growing like a weed. Since I got him, he's doubled in size, he's doubled again. So picture 1/4 the size of what he is now. That's how big he was when he was with his sisters. His sisters were about twice as big as he is now. So yeah, they were eyeing him up. And what would happen is they're going to outcompete him for food. So they're always going to get the food being delivered. He won't get any, so he's going to get weaker and weaker. And they're going to be bumping into him and stomping on him, and finally ends up dead, and then they eat him. So we said, we're not going to watch it happen again. We watched 20 years of it. So, but anyhow, so you're welcome to take a look at him. I got a couple last minute things to tell you with Winnie. This year, and again, I live in a little house. I have 40 acres. It's all woods. My house lives in the woods, or lived in the woods, is in the woods. I have 6 owls. I have 1 hawk. I now have 2 falcons. Well, my owls are always talking to me, Morley and Millie. By the way, Millie's bigger. Who do you think has a deeper voice, Morley or Millie? The boys always have the deeper voice, even though they're smaller. It's strange. It is. Yeah, because Morley goes, Millie goes, yeah, it's strange. She's much bigger. She's double his size, but she's got a much higher pitched voice. If you hear owls out in the woods, like great horned owls, and you hear a deep, and then you hear a, the higher pitched is a female. She's bigger, but she's got a higher pitched voice. So Winnie, I have this big beautiful building I keep all my birds in. Unfortunately, I don't have room for Winnie in there, so she has a room elsewhere. This year, for the first time ever, and I have barred owls that nest in my woods. This year, the barred owls nested less than 100 feet from my house, 50 feet from her window, because she talks to them. And they talk back, and they moved in. And all over the last couple months, the babies were using my yard as a staging ground. They were flying around. One night I woke up because the babies sound like this. They sound like, and I heard this loud, literally right outside my window. I'm like, oh, you're kidding. And I looked outside the window, and my power line going to my house attaches right there. And less than 10 feet from my bed, squawking at me, was a baby barred owl. And I'm like, ah. But it's kind of cool. But anyhow, I think the reason why the barred owls came was her presence. And they decided to come and say, hey, how you doing? All right. We aged Winnie. How'd we age Winnie? with a UV light. Winnie's 3 years old. Winnie can live to be 30 in captivity. Generally, the ones that have been run over don't quite make it that far. Phineas is my large falcon. Phineas is 5 years old. So picture a big version of this. My big falcon lived to be 30. Kestrels in the wild can make it to maybe 11, 14. We just caught one recently that we banded as a chick, and it showed up, and it's 7 years old at least. Now I got a few last minute things to tell you, and then we're going to rotate if people want to check out Kip. We do a bunch of different projects. We invite people to come out. I mentioned we do the Kestrel box. Kestrel, smallest falcon in North America. Well, we band them every year. This year we banded our 3,000th chick that we produce in our boxes. If you want to come and hold a baby falcon in your hand, we put a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service band out. We take weights and measurements. The way you tell the male from the female, males have a bright blue wing, females have a bright brown wing. I know Kip is a male because the feathers are just coming in enough I can see the blue, so I know it's a male. Well, we band them, and they can show up anywhere. My kestrels have shown up. Now remember, I'm on the St. Lawrence River, right on the northernmost near Messina. My kestrels have shown up as far south as the tarmac of the Miami airport.
Wow.
They've shown right next to New Orleans on the Gulf of Mexico. If you want to come and hold a baby kestrel that could go anywhere, you are more than welcome to. The way people get a hold of me is Adirondack Raptors, my business. They can do a Google search. I'm all over the web. My website is AdirondackRaptors.org, and you can contact us through there if you wanted to come and play with us at do kestrels. Kestrels is a mid-June through all July thing, so we just finished kestrels. In October, we banned the saw-whet owls. You saw how big Wednesday is? Mm-hmm. Cut Wednesday in half, and you have a saw-whet owl. Anybody ever remember hearing the story of Rockefeller? Yeah. The owl that showed up at the Rockefeller Center tree? That was the saw-whet owl. And everybody said, oh, look at the poor baby. It wasn't a baby. That's as big as it gets. And they said, oh, we got to get it back to its family, which is up north. Well, saw-whet owls migrate. They were migrating, and they don't migrate together. So if they did take it back north, they did the bird a disservice because it turned around and flew back south again. And what's really cool with saw-whets sound like, you guys, you know how a school bus sounds like when it backs up, it makes that boop, boop, boop sound? Well, that's how a saw-whet sounds. And when you hear a saw-whet, I always picture this little owl in the middle of the woods, backing up, going boop, boop, and all the other owls saying, back up, look out, he's backing up, get out of the way. One day I was walking to my house, and I heard doot, doot, and I looked to my dogs, and I said, guys, that's a saw-whet owl. And I ran into my house, and I grabbed, you know those flute-like recorders that you have in school? Mm-hmm. I sat on my front porch, and I'm mimicking the owl, and I'm tooting back. A full moon was rising. There were 8 little bodies hopping from branch to branch, and they were all tooting back at me. It was magical. We invite people to come out. Saw-whet season is basically October. It's all throughout all October. I have like a revolving door at my house. My students and I run a banding station at my house. We invite people to come. As of right now, I'm still intending on doing it, but my 92-year-old mother had hurt herself, and we're kind of working on figuring out how we're taking care of her. So it's right now I'm kind of a little up on the air if I'm doing it this year. But if we do it, same type of thing. If you look at AdirondackRaptors.org, I have a calendar of events up there, and you can see what we do. If you want to get an idea of what that's like before you even think about it, if you go to National Public Radio's website and you type in saw-whet owl, S-A-W-W-H-E-T, saw-whet owl. They did a story on us. They came, and they actually came and did banding. So you can read the story, look at pictures, and then you can also listen to the story. And you can check it out. If it's something you're interested in, you're more than welcome to. In the first 11 years, we banded over 620 saw-whet owls coming through my woods. Yeah, and it's an October thing. We invite people to participate. In the winter, I'm all over the place. We did 2 bald eagle rescues recently, and this winter we also did We're grabbing snowy owls out of airports or big farms where they're in harm's way. And we're always working with them. And in the early spring, we color marked and we banned our goshawks. Because goshawk populations are having issues. We take blood and we look at things like West Nile virus, that type of thing. And then last but not least, I'm going to give you my shameless plug. I started writing children's books a few years ago. I got 4 children's books out. They're all written for middle school age kids. And they're all about adventures we've had. I call my series Adventures with Stoney. The first one is about being buried in the snow, trying to catch a snowy owl. With a huge twist, because it stinks that either happened with me or friends of mine. And they told me I could use their story. We did bring copies so you could check them out. So if you're interested, you can check them out. Anybody have any last minute questions or concerns? And if not, we're going to probably give Kip a little more food, and you're welcome to come up and check out Kip. Yes, ma'am.
What are you feeding the owls?
Well, they don't eat snickerdoodles.
Right.
Normally, I'm just starting to get into breeding mice, but right now I have day-old chicks. And I know day-old chicks are very fuzzy and lovable and warm. When I get them, they're dead frozen thawed. So thankfully, at least I don't have to, because I love chickens. I used to have Waldorf and Statler. Statler passed, now I have Waldorf. And Waldorf and Walt are my pigeon bonded. So yeah, so at least they keep each other company. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Wednesday away. I'm going to just make sure the air conditioner's flowing. Make sure Morley's doing all right. I'm going to come back. We'll give Kip a little more food before I'm going to put Winnie first thing. I'll leave Wednesday right there. So if you want to come up and check out Kip, give me just a second. Let me just get. No. Thank you. Come on back up. All right, you're in the no-fly zone. Yeah, let me go grab him. Put him away and then we'll feed him a little more.